Where's she at? Yay! I'm gonna add you into.
Wait, where am I? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, can you see me?
Yes, I can see you.
You could see me?
No, I can only. No, you just changed it. There you are.
Okay, because I can't see me, so that's fine.
Oh, you can't see you.
But it's fine. I don't need to see me. Is my face in frame?
Yeah, your face is totally in frame.
Great, then we're good. I don't need to see me. Ah, you look
Oh,
so good. Look at you, lady in red.
Lady in Red. Da, 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 da. Ba, 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 ba.
Ah,
Oh my gosh, Gia, I'm so excited for us to be here and to talk about
I'm
eroticism and the patriarchy.
I'm so glad that you asked me to do this. I love you.
I love you so much. So,
Mm.
for those of you who are going to watch this, and those of you who are watching this right now, Gia is one of my favorite star sisters in the entire world. And you are just, goddamn, you encompass the artist in pretty much every way, shape, and form that I know. You are, yeah, right? Yeah, yep, you do. You encompass the artist in every way, shape, and form. You are a burlesque performer, but then also you're just this alchemist in the kitchen, and you're able to use your words in the most eloquent of ways. And whenever I listen to you, it just sounds like silk running through my body. And
Mm.
oh my gosh, there's just so many other things that you are. And like I could say all the things that you do, but really who you be is one of the most beautiful things because you're so
Mm.
with it and you want to be so present with yourself all the time and in the moment whenever something arises for you, you're constantly reflecting on what's going on inside of you and how you can transmute that and the way in which you use your body to help you move through and channel your energy into something that's going to serve you and the greater collective. I mean, goddamn, if you aren't following this woman, follow her because she is one of my favorite people.
You're making me
I
blush.
think I definitely gotta do this. Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
and you use sensuality in such a way that is, it's it's allowing us to come back into what eroticism actually means instead of having it as this taboo sort of ugh, icky, don't do that, you're a slut, you know, all this like shaming and feeling guilty of
mhm.
our innate desire to really feel that sexual isness in our beings. And so
Mm.
you're one of the people that just does, you show that. And even when you dance, I see you I see you like moving through all these different timelines and past lives that you've been a part of, right? Holy shit.
Mhm. Mm. It's so real. I realized that I definitely live in multiple dimensions and see all these different dimensions and timelines. And I think I'm realizing that that's not the normal way that humans exist. However, Kiki, a huge reason why I love you so much is that
Yeah.
you also see the world in this completely circular, amorphous, alternate timeline manifesting of reality
Mm.
lens. And really, like, you came into my life, you popped into my life through Craigslist.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You showed up with like a cow backpack or something, like bright red everything, and you just, oh no, it was a sequin backpack, and you're just like
Yes.
knocking the door, you're like cha 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 cha. Ooh, I was like, oh man, this girl's in my walking in my life for so long. But your ability to recognize the lens of gratitude and the lens of positivity without being fakely happy and sexy and sensual all the time is so important to me. Just to see another human embody this and tell me and teach me and remind me how to live in a sensual, sexual, silly, lovely kind of way.
Oh, love you so much. Yeah,
And you're
I totally
mm,
receive that.
mm,
I
mm.
totally receive
Shower
that.
sparkles through all the timelines.
Right? I totally receive that. And this is why, so before we got on this call, because obviously we want to talk about eroticism and we want to talk about the patriarchy and how to intermesh all of those so that we can actually use it in something that serves all of us. And I was looking at, because I love looking at the etymology of things, and I was actually looking up the etymology of eroticism because I hadn't looked that up before, and I found it really interesting. So it says eroticism is a quality that causes sexual feelings as well as philosophical contemplation concerning the aesthetics of sexual desire, sensuality, and romantic love.
Mm, mm.
Oh, yeah. So Gia, what is eroticism to you? Because you pretty much live and breathe this word.
Mm. That's kind of difficult because I feel like, you talk around, like when you try to talk around any situation or describe something, you somehow like pale it in comparison to what it is by trying to speak and like build words up around it.
Mhm.
Nice jug. I drink water out of gorgeous wine bottles. Lapis Luna. But back to eroticism, right? It is this ability to look at life in a fully turned on and tuned in way where we embrace like our very human, natural, and important sexuality, right?
Mm.
Kiki and I, we know that our power comes from this erotic nature. And so the eroticism is this tapping into our innate power. And when you sit in your power, you can receive pleasure. You can give pleasure. You can receive pleasure from drinking a delightful sip of water. And that is this like erotic experience if you want it to be. But eroticism has such connotations around it nowadays. We also are going to talk about fucking the patriarchy. And so,
Yeah. And
okay, so question I have for you
mhm.
is how do you see using strong words like eroticism and fuck the patriarchy on a public channel? And how do you take those words back and take the power of those words back, Kiki?
Mm. I take it into my body, really. Lately, I've
Mm,
been going into a lot of different words that we use. Like there's a huge experience in the spiritual community of not using the phrase good morning and instead using the
mm,
word good rising. And like just like little examples like that. And I'm thinking to myself, God damn, if we're just continuing to cancel out all of these words, then what are we going to continue to like? We're just canceling out ourselves. And I think that that furthers this lack mentality. And I think what has been happening in a lot of these more sexual connotations of words, they have this interesting energetic frequency of it's shameful and you should feel guilty if you have these words and if you use your sexual desires and if you actually open up to the fact that you have this
mhm,
erotic nature about you. And it's so primal, right? I mean, eroticism is just allowing ourselves to be completely in our human experience. And I think the more that
mhm,
we disallow ourselves to feel these feelings and feel these primal feelings, then it can be pretty detrimental. And I will use
mhm,
specific examples because I have worked with men multiple times. I mean, throughout my life, I've worked in different iterations with men. I did sex work, and then all of a sudden I became this person who actually worked with men, not in that sort of realm, but I worked with their sexual desires. And a lot of men who have you know, sex addictions and whatnot, and they're trying to get rid of it. They're trying to not be that, and they're trying to not allow themselves that primal desire. And I remember this one experience that I had with a past client, and he was telling me, I don't know how I'm getting onto this conversation, but let's just go there. But he was telling me about his sexual, he had sex addiction, and he was cheating on his partner and all of these things, and he just felt so shameful and guilt and all of this stuff, that the addiction was just consuming him. And I said to him, well, what do you think that you would like to do in terms of this? And he said, well, I don't know, maybe I should just go to Sexual Addicts Anonymous or something like that and read a book. And I was like, but there's no energy with that. You know,
Mm.
like your addiction has so much addiction, right? Your addiction has so much energy attached to it right now. And if you were to just allow yourself to feel that completely, allow yourself to sit in a space in the morning or whenever you want to, and just feel that sexual desire coming through you, and know that it's totally okay, and allow yourself to accept that, accept it into your body, and know that you are not that. It just wants to move through you. And so I
Mhm.
think that in sort of eroticism and like using these words and everything, we have this resistance to use them, where actually, if we were to just allow that resistance to move through us, I think that we wouldn't have as much, for lack of a better term, like negative energy surrounded around these words. We would just use them as we would want to, and use them with intention, because we would
Mhm.
allow ourselves to move through it in our bodies.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
much. It's like he who must not be named. You know, by naming something, you share its power and you can thusly come to it and understand it,
Yeah.
and move into it rather than trying to cast it away, like you're
Right.
saying.
Call it in. Call it in and allow yourself to not be it, but you can call it into your being, and you can allow yourself those feelings, because that's what the human experience is. We have these third dimensional bodies because we came here to feel. I mean, god damn. Why would we not want to feel our bodies and allow ourselves to feel turned on by us? And also with the patriarchy, I mean, lately I've been having these really beautiful meditations, and I've actually been finding myself taking the patriarchy and also a lot of different shadow sides that I have, like sexual slavery and my own experiences of being racist. And I've actually taken those into my body and taken them down into my pussy and gone, okay, how can I transmute this? How can I move through this? How can I actually find the pleasure in all of these experiences and be able to transmute
Mhm.
it in my body, so that I can feel those ripple effects go out from, and I don't even feel them either, you know, just know that those ripple effects are being taken from me to other people.
Mhm.
And
And
yeah,
that's how we fuck the patriarchy.
that's how you fuck the patriarchy. You know,
It
you
is. It's transmuting these things, taking them in, transforming them, and not ignoring them and letting them take our power away. To take the power from these things, to acknowledge the shitty things we've done, the amazing things we've done. Hashtag no labels, just all the things we've done, and embody it, and then ripple it out in love and compassion and understanding,
mm,
and take
yeah,
all of it back.
that's, and that's it, right? That four-letter word, LOVE.
Mm.
How can you love all of the experiences of life? And I think that, going back to what you were saying when you were talking about how I'm the type of person who doesn't like slew positivity to a fault of mine, because I think that the law of attraction has really got it wrong. The law of attraction is all about us kind of taking it surface level and almost diminishing what's actually happening for us. And if we were to just allow ourselves to feel that pleasure in our distaste for the patriarchy, or our distaste for the fact that there
Mhm.
are brutalities going on throughout the US and beyond for our dear, dear colored brothers and sisters, and otherwise. And I think if we were to just pleasure ourselves in that experience, it would actually be able to transmute it. And I know that's what you and I do, but I wonder what it would be like if we all just spoke about this openly.
What? It would be amazing. So I'm writing this oracle deck, and I see Meg jumped onto this live here. I wonder if she's still here. But Meg and Amanda and I have been writing this oracle deck, and this week we've been writing about the words yes and no.
Ooh.
Right? And it's like, when is no, specifically for this conversation, there's so much to that, right? Saying no is saying yes to yourself, but also no can be this denial where we can feel chaste, or we can feel good because we're denying ourselves these things because we feel more pious or better than, or oh, Meg's still here.
Yeah.
Or yeah, just like better than, which then takes us into this place of power over, which is also something I've been seeing everywhere. It is, when do I want to have power over someone else? When does the patriarchy shove me down in a little hole with my eroticism and tell me that all of my being and all of my feeling is bad and wrong, so they can power over and feel better and more powerful than us feeling alive, you know? And so when does that no put us into that place? But then when can we take back our no and be like, no, you cannot tell me not to feel. Yes, I will feel, right? They are such powerful words to like give and create boundaries. Like, yes is this expansion, this acknowledgement of our sensuality, our sexuality, our eroticism, our pleasure, our joy, our oneness with creation. And no is this place where we have to firmly hold our boundaries.
Yeah.
Consent is real, you know?
It's almost as if, you know, I actually hadn't thought about it like this before, but it's as if the yes is the feminine chaos, and then the no is the masculine, but the no is very necessarily needed in order for the yes to do her thing and to dance. But sometimes the yes needs some specific boundaries by the no, which is also this, you know, that really is what the masculine and feminine is within all of us. And I think that the whole experience of the masculine is so wounded, and every single one of us has a wounded masculine inside of us. And by establishing our boundaries and by asserting what is our no and what makes us feel good in our no, that helps us to actually take back what the masculine is meant to be.
Can we do a little interactive exercise right now? Yeah. Okay. So let's go into these words, because yes, it's this balance, because everything has to exist in balance. If you say yes all the time, you're going to become depleted. If you say no all the time, you're going to be lonely as fuck. You know, you're just going to be like set off and in denial. So one of my favorite ways is to say them out loud and see how they feel in our body. Okay. So do you want to have a little yes party?
Yeah.
Okay, and if you're watching, you have to do this too. Even if in your head, if you can't speak, you have to join this yes party. Ready? Set? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes. How does that make you feel?
Oh, it feels so good.
Right?
It feels so good. Yeah.
Flip it.
Really.
Ready?
No.
Yeah. No. No.
I can't look at you.
No. No. No.
No.
No. No.
No.
No.
No.
No.
No.
Nope.
Absolutely not. No.
No. No.
No.
No. No. No.
No. No.
No.
Mm,
Mm.
mm, 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 mm.
So different than the yes.
So beautiful.
Mm.
So beautiful.
Just saying those syllables feels like I'm making little shield walls, you know?
Hmm.
It
And
feels like,
yeah,
oof, like, I am holding up a stop sign. I'm like literally holding up this boundary. It's the no, um, it's like the diaphragm action, no, rather than the yes, which just like lifts up and out of the throat.
no. It's almost as if no goes down and yes goes up for me.
Yeah. Meg says no is so clarifying.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It's asserting.
Mhm.
And really, you can use that with all different types of words by taking them back. And that's really what I've been doing in my meditations. I will meditate on the word racism, or I will
Mm.
meditate on the phrase child sexual slavery and see what comes up. Ooh.
Ooh.
And you don't have to do that with those types of words. Even one of my clients this morning, I told her, because she's working on softness, how to be soft. And I said, well, perhaps it would be great for you to sit in a 22-minute meditation and then also dance with it throughout the day and just use the word soft. Soft.
Mhm.
Allow yourself to deepen into the softening of your feminine.
Mhm. That is so powerful. With any of these words, we can hold them as like seeds, as kernels, and
Mm-hmm.
come back to them like mantra throughout the day. I do a lot of work bringing these words into the whole body because then it makes you sense and feel them and bring them into this sensuality of living. And then you can feel that softness, or you can feel your aversion to softness come up,
Mm-hmm.
etc., etc. And that mm, just lets us, yeah, take those words back
Right.
into our bodies and
Mm-hmm.
bring power to them, even if it's something like softness.
Mm-hmm. I mean, because at the end of the day, if we don't put it back into our bodies, then it's just a word that's in the mind space and it's up here. And I I love Masaru Emoto's work, who works with water and the memories that
Mm.
water holds. And I came to this realization of going, whoa, if I'm over 70% water and water holds memory, then how much memory do I have in my body that I probably don't want and memories that I can move into something that actually serves me. And if there's any sort of stagnancy in my body, then that just means that there's a memory that's held there that I can move
Mhm.
through. And in every single one of my client sessions, that's what I do, right? I'm going, okay, so where is that in your body? And then we work with that area of the body to transmute that energy, to transmute that stagnancy.
Mm.
Oof, it's important to come back into ourselves.
It's potentially the most crucial thing I think that we can do. And so through this quarantine, as all the tours, all the travels, all of the like external giving things
Mm,
just shut down, I realized that the most important thing we can do is like come back to our bodies, because that is the map to our ecstasy. That is the map to our eroticism, is living fully in this divine flesh bag we have and understanding the sensory input. So
mm,
then we can forge this connection with the divine however it comes through. But
yes.
what are we doing if we're here and we're not fully living?
Mm,
If we're pawns, hanging out, watching mindless inputs of any variety, and
mhm,
not listening to what our body feels like, looking uh, at its edges, at its limitations of stretching, of doing, and just play with that. It is all this divine game.
Mm,
Ooh, games. Here we are again.
games. I love the way you said that. Mindless inputs of whatever it is,
Because that
because
could be
it could be anything.
Instagram, sex, food, relationships. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. And how beautiful is that? That, I mean, there's so much of our culture that we just want to numb. And I get it. I've done that. I've been there. I still find myself doing those things sometimes when things get a little bit too uncomfortable. It's because we're creatures of comfort, right? And one of my favorite sayings is a, a lot of us, and I've been that as well, is I didn't know how bad I felt until because I had never really felt that good. And yeah, I was using my body in ways that I didn't want to, or not that I didn't want to, because I actually did in that moment. But looking back on it, I really wasn't taking care of myself. And
Mhm.
I was using sex as my mindless input to create a space where I thought I was receiving affection. And that really was not that really was not the way in which I received the real affection that I was craving, and the real affection that I can give or I can receive from somebody else. I have to give that to myself first and foremost. And so that's where, my whole eroticism and my whole sexuality and my whole sensuality has really become a pivotal key in me healing myself, figuring out where I can find my pleasure in not only just my own bed and pleasuring myself, but actually just finding pleasure in, just like you were saying, drinking a glass of water, allowing myself to feel anxiety and actually get off on the anxiety, the
Mhm.
stress, whatever it is, any sort of imbalance that's going on in my body, any sort of fear paradigm that's happening in myself. I mean, there was this wasn't actually that long ago, but I went through an crazy experience in my body where I allowed fear, scarcity more so than anything, to come into my body. I gave it permission to come through, and it lasted their roller coaster ride for 48 hours. And I was like on the floor, like allowing myself to just be super sensual with the fact that I had scarcity in my body. And the
Mhm.
scarcity came, and then it continued to continue because I would look at my bank account and I had money that was coming into me but it wasn't coming, and it was just all these different things. And I knew that it was my time to transmute that energy and frequency, but I had to do it in my body. That's
Mhm.
really the only way that it will fully remove itself and dissolve. And not to say that it will completely go away forever, but it's just your response to it that will change.
Yeah, I mean, it comes back to this denial that we were talking about before, and how when you allow yourself to fully feel this, when you dive into it. Uh, a teacher I love and respect so much named Gabrielle Roth, who does the five rhythms, right? She talks about feeling and dancing the fear or the scarcity or the anxiety, and not trying to do another dance. Don't try to do a dance of peace when you're feeling anxious. You do the dance of anxiety, and you do the dance of anxiety until it morphs into something else, and then you've moved through it, because otherwise it goes into a little compartment in your body and then just flares up again later in this way that is usually very unexpected, and then usually comes out in a situation where we take it out on other people or ourselves. And then it's not about that, but all of these things we refuse to look at, then oof, just come back and, what do you say, bite you in the ass?
I love biting butts. But
Oh
yeah,
my gosh. Yeah.
that's powerful, right? And that again goes deeper than what the law of attraction is trying to give us. It goes deeper into it because it's actually allowing you to sit with that energy and move with it and dance with it.
Mhm.
Anxiety is just your dance partner in this now moment. Fear is your dance partner, and it wants to dance with you, but instead you're telling it to go and fuck off, and it's just going to stay there. And so then
Right?
when you're telling it to go and fuck off, it's just going to stagnate, and it's going to stagnate in your body.
Mhm. And it's going to sit on the sidelines of the dance floor and get resentful with its arms crossed over there, like you're not paying any attention to me. And it's going to get really mean and mad, and it's going to start throwing slippery oil underneath your feet while you're trying to dance your happy dance, and poof, it's over.
Yeah, and it's just this little situation with this
Mm,
being, with this feeling, with this energy, with this frequency, vibrant, whatever, vibration that just wants to move with you. I mean,
mhm.
goddamn.
Yep. And they're all so important, right? As we look at the yin and the yang, at the masculine and the feminine, we have these two poles often, right? But then there is this beautiful dance between them, and it is so important to see. And you can't glorify only the white. You have to glorify all of the colors, all of the darkness, all of the light, right? And looking at that in a racial situation as well, right? We have to like find this dance and this complete appreciation for the entire spectrum
Mhm.
and not give any weight to the things that feel better than the things that feel worse. Like they all have to be a place where you can find your erotic power within them and
Mhm.
to be able to sit in them and just find that to transmute it. It's not
Mhm.
hierarchical. Coming
It's
back to
not.
fuck the patriarchy.
Yeah, again, and fuck the patriarchy, and coming back to power over, right?
Yeah.
Coming back to power over versus power with. Power with is actually your dance partner,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Having a power with is like, hey, anxiety, hey, fear, hey, scarcity, hey, shame, hey, guilt, hey, grief, whatever. Let's come on. Let's go on this roller coaster ride. Let's dance together. Let's allow ourselves to be in this space and freaking go for it.
Cha cha cha, lack lack, cha cha cha, abundance abundance, cha 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 cha.
I mean, come on. It just wants to
Yeah,
move with you. It just wants to
yeah.
move with you.
And
And it wants,
so
yeah.
to take our power back by allowing ourselves, I'm sorry, by allowing ourselves to dance with all of the spectrum of everything, to feel our sensuality, to feel this eroticism within everything, to not turn a blind eye towards it, and to essentially like sit in those hard conversations. That is our path to our power. And that is the path to taking our power back inside of us and not letting things like those who power over us have our power, right? We can bring it back so we can be full, embodied, erotic, alive, and joyful humans, or
Mm,
sad or crying, but like living with this vibrancy in whatever we feel.
mm,
Oof.
yeah. I like to, with with all my clients, if they're talking to me about how, for instance, their dad is saying something to them, or they're frustrated because this person did something and they didn't receive whatever. The question that I always ask is, on a scale of 0 to 100, how free do you feel to be the person you are, knowing that this person has not accepted you, knowing that this person has not, bop, 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 whatever, right? Whatever the
Mhm.
situation may be. And there's really very rare of a person that gives me 100, which is the freest that they can feel. And so what that means, if they choose 70, right, that means that there's 30 points, 30% of their freedom that they have given away to somebody else. And how can they get that back in this now moment? And most of the time it
Mhm.
is to use your body,
Mm.
right? And then other times it's just claiming it, boom, done, right? Oh, okay, cool.
Speaking
I
it,
had no idea.
naming
Yeah,
it.
naming it, calling it in. And then a lot of the times it's like, okay, well, let's go and dance with that 30% and give it back into my body and literally feel myself
Mm.
moving these vibrational parts that I have taken away, or that I've allowed to go to somebody else's opinions of me or whatever the hell it is. Let's take it back.
Mhm. Mm. That's amazing. My burlesque class is Burlesque is Healing, and it was literally the whole class was about that on Tuesday. It was identifying and writing down where we let our power go away, how
Mm,
do we hold our boundaries, and where our energy leaks. And then
mm,
we did a 30-minute dance journey of cutting those cords, pulling our power back in, and then seeing ourselves as a divine vessel of mud, of whatever, right? And then patching all of those energy leaks literally in order to have 100% of ourselves available right now.
mhm.
And if you're watching this, those of you who are watching this, get it into your body, close the door, get in your bathroom and take a few minutes to move your body through these things. Even if you don't know what you're doing, just start coming into your body and touching yourself so you can move through and allow for yourself to have the power over your own body. And that
Mm,
is power over, but that is power in your own skin.
mm. Yeah, it's power in.
Power in your own skin.
Power in your skin.
Power in your skin.
Yeah, power in your skin. And
Power.
so
Mm,
there's
yes.
there's one thing that is really coming up for me, and there are some parts of us that don't actually want to come back in that moment, and that's okay too. And
So
so
true.
yeah, and so there have been times when they're actually okay with the fact that there's only 20% that they have given to somebody else, but perhaps we can actually take it away from that person and just have that part of themselves standing with them instead of
Hmm.
instead of just like trying to force it to come back into their bodies, because sometimes, whatever, wherever you're at is totally cool. And if you're okay with it being, you know what I mean, it's like you don't have to push it because everybody else is doing whatever your experience is totally well and just. And as long as you're moving and as long as you're feeling good in that experience, it's all just about the feeling, really, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and just like you
And you
said,
can't, well,
closing
you
the
can't
door.
like mark yourself against someone else. You can't compare.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And even if people don't know, like, I don't know how to dance, I don't know how to, it's like, just shake your goddamn body. Just shake it.
Yeah. Do a Muppet dance, dance up and down, see how the beat feels in your torso. Yeah, if you have a
Do
body,
a
you're a
Muppet
dancer.
dance.
Do a Muppet
Do a
dance.
Muppet dance. I love you. Oh my gosh. Whew.
Yeah. Um, right. And so within this, comparison or expectation once again comes up as to where you're supposed to be or how you're supposed to be, right? And then that can really then also that comparison and expectation takes your power away
Mm,
in
right?
itself. And that's you giving your power to that. You don't have to give your power to a thing. Or hold on, let me go back. Those ideas take your power away. And we have the choice to gift our power and to give our power to other people that we love, that we know can do amazing things for and with us. And it is our choice. If like you see someone take your power away, then you can know, form that boundary, and then also at the same time freely give that power then to them to use in the light of good, or
Mm,
like in the openness of good. And that
yeah.
is this difference between taking and freely giving and knowing. So
Yeah.
much, so much. We're just going there.
Again, it's a decision. It's a decision that you make, and so run with your decision. Run with your decision. Be with it. Create meaning around whatever you want to create meaning around, and then just go with it.
Mm,
You don't have to second guess anything, because in a moment you can change your mind, and that's totally cool too.
yeah. Because sometimes you need to change your mind because everything changes in a moment.
Hmm. I mean,
Pivot.
look at the world we're living in right now. Goddamn. Is there
Ah,
a cat?
goddamn. What?
Oh, I thought there was a cat.
No, I was pivoting. I was changing my stance.
Okay, I love that pivot.
Pivot? and back. Decision change in a moment, because that is also us having the power in ourselves to just know that what we said one moment again, consent can be taken away at a moment's notice, you know?
Right. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's totally unconscious too, right? And we don't realize it until after the fact, and we go, "Oh, shit. What the hell was," or maybe years later, right? With our parents and all that jazz, for sure. I think it's all so beautiful. It all transpires exactly as it's meant to. And whatever, I mean, if you had a parting word or series of words, whatever you want to say, what would your parting saying be to, if you were to just like peace out right now, and all of a sudden you go back into wherever you came from, you multi-dimensional being. what would you say to the human race?
Is that you have the power within you. You have the power within you. You are the answer. It's you.
Yeah.
That's all.
It's you.
It's you. It's you. You don't need anyone else to unlock you or open you up. You have all of the answers that you seek inside you.
Yeah.
And just tap into that courage to dive in to you.
Right.
Yeah. How about you? Parting shots, parting words?
To dive into the discomfort, just move into it. Move into that discomfort, because all of a sudden that discomfort will be your new normal, and it will be comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is me amplifying that statement.
It's just, move into the discomfort. Allow yourself to be in this space. Feel what's coming up for you and be with yourself, because that's all you got. Just like you were saying, it's in you. This is it. This is all you got. And people are going to come and go, and we might want to get attached to some people, whatever, but they are all they have as well. And the more that we can allow ourselves to just step back in and allow ourselves to dig a bit into the discomfort, oh my gosh, there's so much joy that comes from that, and so much pleasure and so much eroticism in that moment. Finding the pleasure in the discomfort.
Yes.
I love you.
I love you too.
Thank you so much for being.
Likewise. I am so glad we have these little star portal devices that allow us to do this, so other people can watch it out there all over the world.
We got these little tiny screens. I could look at your face and then talk to some people, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it is really good.
Yeah. And thank you to everyone who was listening and taking it in and coming in for a bit and coming out and doing their thing.
And you're welcome for all these powerful messages. Thanks, Ziggy Dark, for all that.
I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you.
I love you too. I'll see you soon.
Ciao.